I've got a little secret. Ever since I got this, the Torpedo Captor X, I haven't mic'd a single amp. And my recordings have never sounded better. In today's video, I'm gonna break down exactly how I use the Torpedo Captor X. And if you are an old school mic, a tube amp kind of guy, you're not gonna wanna miss this. So let's go. I love tube amps. I love how they sound and I love how it feels when you play them. But the one problem I've had ever since I started recording was I never had the space to record them properly. And I have the same problem with my current studio right here. I have a full studio tour video. I will link it right here. And in that video, you're gonna see that the main problem with this studio is that it's off the side of my kitchen. So needless to say, it's not soundproof, it's not properly treated, and usually I have a kid grabbing a snack about 5 feet away from me. Another issue with this space, I know this is gonna be a first world problem, is that it's a townhouse. That means I have a neighbor on the other side of the wall behind this camera, and behind the guitar wall is actually a closet and a bathroom, but behind that wall is another neighbor. So I don't wanna piss my neighbors off by cranking an amp. And as we all know, tube amps sound the best when we turn them up and we really drive those tubes. And in order to do that, we're gonna have some volume issues if we're not in the right space. That's why I love the Torpedo Captor X. It solves all the problems I have of recording my tube amps. That's where the Torpedo Captor X comes clutch, and it's such a useful tool. It does a handful of things. It's a reactive load box, a virtual cabinet, attenuator, an IR loader. But I actually only use this as a reactive load box and a virtual cabinet when I'm recording guitars. And that's what I want to show you guys today, because maybe you have the same problem as me. You don't have the right space and you have some cool tube amps. Well, then this thing is gonna be your best friend. All right, let's go through the hardware real quick. There's 3 knobs in front. Right here is the out level, which controls the overall volume or signal of your sound. The voice knob is different settings that you can have. There's presets in the app. I'll show you guys that app in a second. And space is reverb. Well, it's more like space, like you're recording, and there's different settings for that. I'll show you guys that. Down here is the preset, so you can make your own presets. I have a couple presets, which I'm gonna show you guys for my 3 amps. Phones is obviously the headphone jack for when you're recording at night. The back is super simple. The power comes here. It does come with a power supply. The outputs, you can do stereo, left or right. I just do mono, so I attach to the left. There's a ground or lift switch right here. This is the most important input in the whole thing. In the back, which is the speaker in, this is where your speaker cable from your amp gets connected to. The speaker out, if you want to run this out to another speaker, if you're gonna attenuate it or whatever you want to do. There's the volume, there's full, mid, and low. USB connection if you want the app through USB on your computer, and then there's also a MIDI in. Super simple controls. The cool thing about the Torpedo Captor X is you can use those front dials, but you can go deep dive into your cabs and your mics through their app, if you can see that right there. I've made some presets for the amps that I have. I have a Vox AC15 2x12 with Celestian greenbacks. I have a 4x12 for the Marshall Origin, and I also have an EVH 2x12 for the EVH Iconic. I'm gonna show you guys all my settings when we do the playthrough, but basically this amp can do everything. You could do some EQing, you can control your enhancer and your reverb, which is space. It does it all. And what I like about it is it's not too deep menu dive. I'm not a big deep menu dive kind of guy. If you are, then I don't know, you might like this, but if you're just a simple guy, like just simple stuff, I like to use a lot of presets, then this is the amp for you. I've not bought any new IRs for it. I use all the stock Two Notes Engineering cabs and they're fantastic. So if you're a simple dude like I am, this is the tool for you. One last thing I want to mention about the Torpedo Captor X that I haven't found too much information online is that it's a perfect tool for combo tube amps. If you've ever seen the back of a tube amp head, then you know that the speaker output jack is in the back. And if you're wondering where it is on a combo amp, I'm gonna show you guys those. One super important note, and I can't stress this enough, guys. If there is no speaker cable connected to the amp, do not run it because you are gonna fry your amp. You're gonna fuck your amp up. Do not ever run a tube amplifier without a speaker load. With all of that out of the way, let's hear some sounds. All right, the first amp we are gonna fire up is my EVH 5150 Iconic. We're gonna use 2 channels. You're gonna hear a clean-ish sound. That's the green channel. And then for the heavy sounds, that's the red channel. Here is my cab settings. Now, I'm a pretty basic guy. I'm gonna have this on my iPad. I'm gonna flash it on the screen right now. My EQ basically is noon across the board. I have a little bit of reverb. And my cabinet is an Eddie, I guess, for Eddie Van Halen and info. There it is right there, 5150 Sheffield speakers. And for mics, I use 2 mics, 421 and a 57, pretty standard. Actually, for all my cabs, I use the exact same mic placement and mics. That's pretty much it. And it sounds so good. Here's what it sounds like. All right, the next amp we're gonna use is the Marshall Origin 20. I have a video about this amp. I will link it right here. Go check it out after this one. Let's go to my settings. Same thing, EQ across the board, pretty much all at noon, a little bit of reverb. The cab we're using is the Miltone, which is basically a Marshall. Let's hit info on that. Yeah, Marshall 4x10 with G10 35 speakers, tighter sound. Okay, I didn't know it was a 4x10. I thought it was a 4x12. I use a 421 mic and a 57 as well. Almost the same mic placement as my EVH 5150 Iconic. But again, this sounds so amazing. Let's hear what it sounds like. right, the last amp I'm gonna show you, of course, is my favorite amp, the Vox AC15. I have multiple videos about this amp on my channel. I will link some below and I will link one right here. a lot of people like these videos, so go check them out after. Here are my settings. Again, all the EQ is at noon, a little bit of reverb. Oh, actually I put a spring reverb on this one. Yeah, so as you can see, the cab is a Vox AC15 JMI equipped with 2 Celestion Silver Bell speakers. The mic, same thing, 421 and 57, super basic, but it sounds so phenomenal. And that's it. That is the Torpedo Captor X. This thing is amazing. It is my secret weapon for this studio, and I've used it a ton. Actually, it appears in my singles. I'll link those down below as well. And I wanted to show you guys how I use it, and that's why all the sound examples I showed you guys were full band, mixed and produced stuff, because I want to show you how good this thing really sounds. Do you guys have this box, or do you use something else for your virtual cabs and reactive load box? If you do, let me know down in the descriptions below. And also let me know if you guys want me to make another video about this. Shout out 2 Notes Audio Engineering. This thing is phenomenal. I've wanted to make this video for a long time. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. If you like this video about the Torpedo Captor X, you might like a video about the Vox AC15, which I use this thing with. I'll link it right here. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.